Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Rated RX podcast. I'm Robbie here with Samuel Llona. I almost said Samuel Hill because I was looking at Xavier and Xavier Hill. Are you guys related or something?
We're cousins.
Yeah, I knew it. How are you guys doing today?
Great, man. Great.
Nice.
First day of work back of the week because I was up in Canada. So,
Yeah, tell
only
us
have the
about
two day work
yeah?
week. So that part's
Nice.
good. It was a little rough coming back, obviously, as it always is, but
I
who
saw your
doesn't love a
snaps.
2 day work week?
Yeah, I was boggled by, how the whole tariff thing is pissing them off too. I saw you're like,
Yes, I did not know about that because I remember earlier they were like pulling all liquor and all alcohol, anything in Canada, and then they went back and forth. But they had little signs up on liquor, and so it was wine bottles, and it's like this one came from a blue state, and it's still on the shelf. And then what I didn't show you was a sign that says, like red states, all things from red states have been pulled from the shelves, like help support people of Canada. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I took a picture of it, but I didn't send it to you.
That's
It says
wild.
a message from the Straith, which is the name of the liquor store I was in. We have removed all liquor made in red states. Please help us to support Canada by choosing a local alternative or one from our valued international trading partners.
Wow. What a time to be alive.
Hey.
More divided than ever.
Yes, they're picking red and blue up in Canada.
Yeah, Bloods and Crips, I guess. Tails
Gang
all this
bang.
time. Dang. Well, aside from that, did you have a good time? Did you see any pharmacies?
I did. Went to a pharmacy. Looked exactly the same.
Nice.
A couple of different like setups and meds, but really it was like a Rite Aid. Had all your kind of fringe pharmacy stuff and a few food items here and there, and then nice small pharmacy in the back with one pharmacist working there doing it all.
Sweating just like every other pharmacy,
yeah,
huh?
it was pretty much the same. So
Nice.
that's good.
That is good. How about you, Zay? Do anything exciting? Read anything interesting?
I have been reading actually, Atomic Habits. I know it's a good book if you guys haven't read it. In pharmacy world though, I worked overnights this week. It was my turn to cover someone's vacation. So I had 2 overnights, but I was off Wednesday and Thursday to recover. And I'm back Friday. So short week for me, but yet long week at the same time.
Nice, dude. Today, for me, I just finished a mobile pharmacy event. So occasionally they'll send me out in the community to offer various pharmacy services. Today, I was doing blood pressure screenings and handing out some Narcan to a center where they specialize in dementia and the elderly. And it was nice. I, got to meet some people, and somehow I got roped into doing a talk on supplements for a presentation next year. They're like, hey, next year we want you to come talk about supplements. And I was like, okay. So just don't know how to say no, but that's how that goes.
Hey, at least you got a whole year to prepare.
Yeah, I mean, supplements, yeah. Take them if you want, but don't take them if they're going to interact with your meds. Boom.
Or if they're
Now you
too
know everything you need to know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, Zay, I think you had something to share with the group, so I'm gonna segue over to you, man.
Yeah, I have a little news in the pharmacy world. So I don't know if you guys know, but Walgreens, the company, was doing very poorly in the stock market. Had been going down for a while now, and they eventually took the company private. So now it's no longer publicly traded. But Walgreens have named a new CEO named Mike Motts. He's been a CEO of a lot of different other places. He actually was a CEO up in Canada, actually, for the retail grocery store chain pharmacy up there. But now we're bringing him over to Walgreens to see if he can help the company get out of the gutter and rebuild itself. But my hope is that he also changed the culture at Walgreens. and hopefully improve work environments and, restore trust in the company for the pharmacists that work there. Hopefully, this new change makes the environment a little bit better. It's my hope.
Do you know if that change was made from wherever he was before in Canada, or what he was doing with Canada-ness? If he improved that previous pharmacy that he was a CEO of.
Yes, so he was well known for making the stores more patient focused
Oh,
and
good.
make sure they were staffed appropriately, and he wasn't too focused on metrics, but more patient satisfaction or client side satisfaction because also retail side. So obviously did pretty good in that role to where Walgreens felt like he was good enough to come over to help try to turn them around.
That's interesting. I'm curious to see how that's going to work because I think Canada has a different insurance model than the US. I want to say, don't they have universal
Universal,
healthcare?
yes.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts and what changes he thinks needs to be made to account for the US market.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how he does it. But I feel like a lot of things it'll take some time for things to actually change. But I'm just hopeful for the pharmacists that work at Walgreens
Oh,
who would like,
definitely.
a better environment.
Yeah. John and Brandon, this one's for you, huh?
Keep on keeping on.
All right. Well then, hey Xavier, thanks for sharing. We'll keep an eye out, and then hopefully things will turn around for Walgreens, and we'll have to check in with those two guys to see how they adapt to the changes and if they like the changes. Um, and then so let's kick it up to our next segment, some weekly weigh-in. Sam, please take her away.
All right, so we've got a submitted question about asking about coming into the pharmacy and their experiences and how they feel about that. So this contributor here says, sometimes I get confused about my new prescriptions. My doctor told me one thing, but the pharmacy gave me a different set of instructions. It feels like my doctor and pharmacist don't talk. Is my health care compromised, or why is my health care compromised when I get my meds? So do you guys have examples of that where either they brought it up or they told you what might have been on the script and you guys tweak it a little bit or say something a little different that might be confusing to patients? Xavier, any experience with that?
Yeah, I think the issue might be sometimes, no, we don't always talk to your doctor. We only go by what's on the script, and then they may have told you something different than what they put on the script. Another thing that I've seen is they put as directed on the script. So like we kind of go based off our knowledge on how the drug should be taken and things to look out for, and then doctor told them something different. So sometimes it's just hard for us to know exactly what they want unless they write it on the script how they want it.
Yeah, for me, I think the biggest thing that I find confuses patients is when you go over the instructions and they'll clearly state the frequency and the sig, but they'll say, "Oh, the doctor said I could just take it as needed." And it'll be something like gabapentin, and so something for like pain, or sometimes we'll give it for alcohol cravings, or sometimes anxiety. And so in that case, it's sort of like, yeah, makes sense. Take it as needed, I suppose, but it's not the way the doctor wrote it. So then it becomes a weird question like, okay, well, do I follow the instructions that the doctor clearly wrote on the SIG or do I do it the way the doctor told me? And so at that point, it's just sort of like, I don't want to say a guesswork, but more like, well, I'll refer to them all. I'm like, here, you've been taking it scheduled. The doctor wrote it as scheduled. I would continue taking it scheduled, but you're totally right that this isn't something that you need to take scheduled. So I mean, you could try it as needed, but if you feel like your needs aren't getting met, then you should just take it scheduled. It's instances like that is when it gets a little confusing and nuanced, because it's just like I don't want to say the wrong information, but at the same time I work in a psych hospital, so I'm like, did your doctor really say that? So it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I can see that. I would agree with those things. I think what popped into my head was an incidence of with a pet prescription, and so obviously they're giving it to their pet, but it's something that you're dosed on an empty stomach, And like I was talking, or we were talking about how it's hard to give them, whatever it was. And I was like, well, you can give it with food, like that's not what we're trying to do. Like we want to do it thing, and it went back and forth. Well, my vet said this. I was like, well, yeah, 100%. Like we want to give this on an empty stomach, but if you're having a hard time, you got to give it with food. Still give the med. We don't just skip the dose. Like you're still going to get some absorption. Yeah, we're going to lose effectiveness of the med when you give it with food, but we still want them with that.
Okay.
And I guess it's like, oh, okay. And they called the vet and pretty much told him, and I told him that they can have it on food with food. And the vet called to us and ended up talking to my boss. And, I didn't know this until later in the day, but he was like later in the day, it's like, yeah, did you tell a patient on this take it with food? And then I told him, it's like, okay, yeah, that's what I told the vet. But he was super pissed that you were telling this patient or this owner to take this med with food. And I was like, I wasn't. That's not what I was doing.
I'm telling
Just like
me.
people just decided, like, oh, they like can't get it without it. Then I better skip this dose. It's like, no, you start skipping like 5 doses, and then all of a
It's
sudden you're
not effective.
whatever's yeah. It's like you still try to give it with a little food, still give it with something, get them to take the med. But we're trying to do it on an empty stomach.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's kind of like playing telephone. Like the doctor says one thing, and then by the time it gets to the patient or the patient hears a different way, it just gets all jumbled sometimes.
That telephone game still goes, still goes. All right, so we want to, thinking back on this patient, what can we do to kind of help patients feel empowered? Like I've heard of, people talking about they just always feel rushed, not just with pharmacy, but with their doctors too. Maybe you guys have experienced that too, of just kind of getting rushed through an appointment or getting your consult. It's just, hey, do you have any questions for the pharmacist? And like that's it. They don't necessarily talk to you or get into things. So, what are some questions that patients should ask to kind of help them advocate for themselves when maybe they aren't feeling comfortable with a med, they're feeling rushed, they want to make sure that they understand this new med. Any questions or things that come to mind that always help you as a pharmacist help that consult on understanding that?
Yeah. So, for me, I would recommend the patients if they do have a question, ask the question. Don't be afraid. We're here to help. We answer questions all day. We won't get in the way by it. Just ask the questions that you have until you feel comfortable.
So, a question to ask your doctor and your pharmacist, I would start by asking the doctor questions about your disease, because if you understand like what is going on with you, then you'll have the power to be more proactive and do something about it. It's like, it's like how many like people say like, hey, I have diabetes. It's like, okay, but do you actually know what diabetes is? And like, well, I know it's something with my sugar. It's like, okay, what do you know the consequences of not having your sugar controlled, right? And they're like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll get fat. And it's like, whoa, so much more than that. And so a lot of times I find that patients don't really understand the nuances of their disease. And once they can understand that, then they can start asking, well, why did you choose this med? Like, why are we going with this over that? What other options do I have? And yeah, it's challenging because sometimes the doctor is very pressured on time. They will stack like 10 patients in like half a day, and then the other 10 the after lunch, right? So it's just once you understand the fundamentals and you can start asking more nuancy questions to help clarify your understanding. And anything you don't get from the doctor, you can ask your pharmacist when you're at the pharmacy consult. They always ask, hey, what do you have any questions from the pharmacist? You should definitely take up that offer and ask the pharmacist questions.
Yeah, I'd say that little bit of being proactive, because I'm sure part of the feeling is just that one question. It's like, oh no, it's like, and it's an inconvenience to get them over here. It's like, I mean, it might be true, sure, but that's okay. Like that's part of it. So you've got a question, you have that anxiety on your med, you have those side effects you're concerned about, or so, ChatGPT told you something. You can let the pharmacist walk you through that. But knowing that you can ask those questions on it, or knowing that what what is bothering you can potentially, be answered by the pharmacist, maybe not. But trying to have, an open-ended question, or, just tell me what's something I need to know about this drug, or I'm worried about side effects. What do I need to know about this? Those open-ended questions can help, versus it being, hey, does this cause diarrhea, and just getting a yes or no answer. Maybe that's all you needed. Maybe you wanted more about GI questions, but now you kind of just close down the conversation and things are getting moved on, and you're upset a little bit because you didn't get to really feel comfortable about taking your med. So yes, everyone's kind of pressured with time. Pharmacists, doctors, nurses, it's all kind of there. It can be tough to advocate for yourself, but you gotta make that first step.
Yeah, and it's so funny, Sam, kind of piggybacking on what you mentioned in your earlier story with the whole food thing. Back when I was working community very consistently, the number one question I always got with the meds, do I take this with food or not? And it's just so funny. And I
You ask
remember
that all
having
the time.
students with me and, always joking. It's like, you always got to know if take this with food or not, because that's what they're always going to ask. And sure enough, someone always came in and was like, hey, do I take this with food? And, I just smirk at the student like, hey, I see what I tell you. That's all they ever want to know.
I think that's the only question they know to ask sometimes.
Yeah.
Is there any follow up come to you?
Yeah, so my other thing I was gonna say, if you ever get confused or you completely don't understand, what the drug is for, why you're taking it, how you should take it, definitely ask those questions. Like if you have no clue at all, ask a question. Just like, hey, just give me the quick rundown on this because I'm confused. And then the last thing, something I do as a pharmacist, because I have the time to a lot of times, I just counsel them anyway. I give them the quick go to, you need to know this, and this about this drug. So before they even get to ask, that way I know for sure I told them the important stuff that I feel like they should know.
I like it. All right. So last question on this, we were kind of joking about that communication between prescribers and healthcare professionals. If we had a large group chat with the pharmacists and the doctors um, that were communicating back and forth, what do you think that would look like? What kind of memes are in there? What kind of arguments are yelling at what for starting some super bug bacteria? Xavier's over there in ID. What do you think you're doing prescribing this? Just ghosting each other. What do we think would be in there? Zay, thoughts on
So
that?
being a hospital pharmacist, I got a bunch of group chats with all the doctors. So we have 7 different medicine teams, and we have a pharmacist that covers one of the 6 teams. They split the 7th team, but that doesn't matter. But there's a pharmacist in the group chat. There are 2 resident interns, so their first year as doctors, and then there's a senior doctor. Who's either in the 2nd or 3rd year, and then they have the attending doctor. So I usually set up group chats with those doctors so I can easily communicate them and give off my recommendations based off the patients that come in or are leaving out. And those group chats gets a little crazy. They're always, well, it depends on your doctor, right? So you get a lot of ghosted messages because the new doctors are just learning everything and they're overwhelmed and they can't keep up. So you ask 3 questions and they answer 1 partially, or they don't
That's so
respond for
true.
45 minutes and then they say, okay, we got 7 discharges. And you're like, dude, I'm about to clock out. Like you should have told me this 5 hours ago. I've been sitting here waiting for y'all to respond. So that happens a lot. All caps, I wouldn't say that happens too much. Memes, once you get the doctors get more comfortable with you and they get to know you, you may get some memes and stuff in the group chat. It may get a little silly in there, but gotta make sure the work is getting done first. Other than that, it's like usually just tons of back and forth of just trying to clarify things. It's like they're like, I want to do this, but they don't know how. So I'm telling them how to do it. And then I'm like, oh, nope, you did this wrong. You need to change this to this. How do I enter this console? You go here, 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 and do this. So it's a lot of back and forth communication like that. So it's basically what you said, memes, all caps, getting ghosted, clarifications. It's all that. So that's what it is.
I like it. All right, Robbie, you got work? Do that at work at all?
Yeah. So definitely depends on the doctor. Some doctors are, younger. They appreciate some memes. Definitely like to use the office memes that in the Teams chat. That comes up a lot too. Just, things, or the Homer Simpson one, him slowly fading away into the bushes when someone says
Oh
something
yeah, that was
little
common.
little out there and ridiculous. But then there's the doctors who older, a little more traditional, who I don't think I feel comfortable sending them memes because it's very professional,
Professional.
I guess, and there's a barrier of professionalism versus like being too friendly, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. So it just depends on the doctor. Depends on the doctor,
It
and of
does.
course, you know, gossip always finds its way in the chats. It's just like any other workplace. You're gonna talk, you're gonna banter, you're gonna throw in some gossip, but be careful what you say because once you write it, it's can be held against you. So
Yes, yes. Just know doctors are humans too, just like all the rest of us. Some of them are just super smart. So
Just walking that line. We don't have anything like that because we don't work with the same, I guess, knit prescribers on little things that you guys are doing. But I'd say like thinking about it, a lot of discussions or things that get called back, obviously compounding unique in the setup, but a lot of times like they don't really care. It's like, we're using this or that or this strength or that. It's like, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like whatever you guys do that you guys do, like do that.
do
And
what you do.
so it's like being things that would just be like, just ship it. Just do what you guys got to do. Where, the kids would be like 6, 7 now, just, just go ahead and do whatever. What do you think is right? Go ahead and get that script going. So that would be helpful on some of those. All right. Well, thank you guys. Hopefully that helps some patients feel a little more empowered than talking to each other. Xavier, I think you had a lovely little scenario for us to go over. Why don't you take it away?
All right, guys, we're back with a pharmacy fantasy. And today I got a doozy for you. So as you guys know, the Powerball is steadily climbing. It's up to, I think, 1.7 million-ish. No winners yet. A couple people won a little less than around a million or less. But no one's won the big jackpot yet. So my scenario is kind of based off that. So set the scene. Pharmacy manager, we're gonna call him Greg, strolls into the hospital. He's humming and singing his usual Monday blues tune on his way to the inpatient pharmacy, and he finds it completely empty. It's quiet. It's a ghost town. No techs, no pharmacists, just a sticky note on the Pixis machine that reads, "We hit the $1.7 billion Powerball. We love you, Greg, but we're out." Greg blinks. He checks the cameras. Nothing but confetti and a half-eaten donut on the table. The entire staff pulled their tickets, won big, and ghosted the hospital. So now Greg is in there, 300 med orders pending, a cold blue in ICU, got a nurse asking if she could just grab the morphine herself. He calls HR. They just laugh him off, like, I don't know what you want me to do. He calls the residency director and tries to consult with different other departments to ask for help. He even tries to bribe the med students with cafeteria vouchers so they can come help out in the IV room. By noon, Greg's running the pharmacy solo, wearing a lab coat, headset, and roller skates. He's compounding, verifying, answering the phones like a caffeinated octopus. The hospital CEO stops by and says, "We'll get you some help soon, Greg." Greg just nods and whispers, "I miss Karen." So, how do you guys feel about the story?
Greg's taking it pretty well. I don't know. That would be
Safe.
that'd be tough to try to
Not safe.
try to transition with all that.
I'd be wishing I was one of Greg's coworkers who won, man. I don't think I would be
Do you
bothered
think
so
Greg
much.
said no? Like they offered to get him into the pool. He's like, no.
That's what I'm saying. It's what I was about to say. It's like I would be more mad at myself for not buying and pulling into a ticket. Just like everyone left me here because I didn't put a $2 into the stupid pot. Man, I would have it coming. If that happened to me, I'd be like, I deserve this. I deserve this for being cheap. Like this is my fault. So,
Hey, but no one ever really wins,
but in that scenario, because it's so like you are more likely to, like get hit by lightning on your way to buy a lottery ticket and then actually win a lottery ticket.
Right.
So if that were to happen, oh my God, I would hate myself. I would absolutely hate myself that I did not spend $2, and I would consider that karma to me. Like, this is my freaking fault. I deserve this. So now I will rot in this hellhole alone.
All right, guys. So, a couple of spin-off questions to get a little serious with it. What is the backup plan if an entire pharmacy team, disappears overnight? Like, say everybody got COVID at the last holiday function and nobody could come to work because they're all super sick, or they won the lottery in a situation. Like, what's the backup plan? Do you think the hospital or the pharmacy can even run without,
Start
with
by
that limited staff or no staff? Like, what's going to happen?
Start by unplugging the phones. That's move number one. I got to limit the intake. Yeah, there's nothing you can do really short term. Like there's you can only do so much as a one person. So even if we make it not as fun, but looking at retail pharmacy, and you get texts that call out, and those are horror stories of pharmacists by themselves with everything going on, and so we'd make a joke about it, but obviously not this level. But it happens in retail pharmacy where they're already short staffed. But yeah, there's really nothing like you can. Taking the phones off is a legit answer. Like there's no time to answer that. You just gotta put up a message like, hey, we're short staffed right now. You just need to leave a message. We're not going to get back to you for a while. We apologize, whatever, or put notes and things where you just kind of have to go to that code blue. That's the only thing you can handle at the moment.
Right.
And then go from there.
Yeah, I would hope that the hospital would have a way for pharmacists to remotely verify orders if there was like a big thing like COVID, so they're not actually on site. I would also assume they would have partnerships with compounding places like Sam, where they could get these orders filled in a timely manner. And a lot of stuff too is just kind of in the Pixis or like a pre-mixed stuff that you could make. Like, yeah, there's things you can't. That's where Sam comes in. It's a private. So I imagine they have a system in play. And then, of course, you could always hire temps. I don't know how long that takes, but if it's an emergency, they will pay top dollar to get someone in there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And a big academic system, they usually have sister campuses too. They would just float people around till they get it resolved. So if they don't have a solution, then that's very alarming to the facility.
Yeah. I mean, just speaking from our hospital, we kind of are like the rate limiting step for everything. So like if we're not there, no one else can really do their job. Because our inpatient pharmacists, let's say just the inpatient staff, all of them get sick or die in a plane crash or something. Like everybody's gone, right? We handle. I mean, every order that a doctor gives has to be verified by a pharmacist. Yes, that maybe outpatient can help verify some orders, but they're not used to inpatient orders. They'll probably be like, I don't know how they do this, stuff like that. And then our hospital is big on transition of care and discharges. So like we facilitate, which medications the doctor. We help them make sure the medications that they're dispensing the patients with are correct. And we type up a note. We tell them how to do all the consults. So like that whole discharge process will be like when nobody be able to be discharged from the hospital, or if they are, it'll just be like, this is what you do.
Give us a call next week.
The doctors are going to be trying to go pick this up at CVS instead, so you at least get counseling. So I feel like it would be definitely like 24 hours of chaos. Like they wouldn't be able to function for 24 hours at least until they get some more people. So I definitely think all hospitals should have emergency staffing protocols for these unlikely, yes, yet crazy situations. You got to plan for the worst, right? Just, being prepared. You have to always plan for the worst. So, yeah, man, that was definitely a crazy story for sure. But now we're going to keep having some fun. Pass it back to Sam. We're going to do the Plan B blind draft.
All right, thank you, Zay. So we got the Plan B blind draft. This one is still kind of on topic here on what we're doing. So this one is titled "Just One More Question." So the situation, we just had our excellent consult. They understood everything. Walking away, everyone's walking away. They turn back around. It's like just one more question, and they ask this. So we're doing number one, being craziest, most unhinged. You gotta. It's like, well, come back over here and let's talk about that. Or you freeze or have no idea. 5 is your easy one answer. Yeah, you're fine. Whatever. Have a good weekend. So you guys ready for that?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So just one more question. Is it okay to use my old eardrops in my eye?
Oh, no.
No. Eye drops can go in the ear, but never use eardrops in the eye. One thing I definitely make sure I memorize as a pharmacy student.
So is that your quick answer? Like that's all you got to do? Just like no or not? Or it's like, oh, let's talk about what was this, man? What was this?
Oh, yeah. So actually, that's man. That would be my quick answer. So
Just like, no, you can't do that.
that's something
One
I can
sentence.
answer.
Boom.
Yeah, do not do that. No, it'll be no.
That's a negative.
That's
All
a
right,
big no.
so
Where we're ranking it?
We're ranking it like 4 or 5.
Yeah, we can go pretty low on that one. I think. I mean 5.
5. Okay, I love it. Let's do it.
Okay.
I think that's one we can just. Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a quick answer.
All right. One more question. Am I supposed to take this medication with a large glass of water? Can I just do shot glasses and take 10 shots of water?
10 shots of water? I would definitely ask some follow-up questions. What do you consider water? Is it just clear liquid, or like why do you
Vodka
specifically say shot? Like, it's probably, I'm thinking like a 3, just because I don't know what you interpret as a shot of water.
Vodka shots. Water vodka. Water brand vodka.
Some people call it water.
Water
Yeah.
gin.
Water gin.
Hydrate.
3? You want to go 3? do you
Yeah,
think,
I
Xavier?
think 3 is a good one. That one, we'll have to definitely do a little bit more, clarify some things, ask why they want to do this versus just drinking or a glass of water for sure.
Okay, lock it in 3. All right, next one. Just one more question. My son is faking sick to get out of school. Can you tell me if this medication will really make him sick?
Whoa. I'm gonna say at least a 2 on that.
At least a 2.
Sounds like there's some malicious intent in that one.
Right. Well, I mean, they try to just make them vomit to death so they can really get out of school. Like, oh, we really want to go to this trip to Aruba for the family reunion, and we need you to get out of school, so you're going to take this.
Bro, as a legal guardian, you could just not let them go to school. You don't need to make them be sick for that. Just be like, yo, we're going to
Robbie just pulls the kids out. No big deal.
Wow, jeez.
I'll homeschool you.
You're serious about like lying to the school? My God.
Yeah, that's kind of going too far.
Just a little. Maybe child abuse too. Trying to get your kids sick.
That's why everyone shouldn't have kids.
Yes. Demonstrated just now.
All right, well, you guys got 1, 2, and 5.
At least a 2, right?
Yeah, let's go 2.
Okay.
We got 1, 2, and 4, right? Well, 1 and 4 now.
Oh, yeah, 1, 2, and 4.
5. Okay, cool. 1 and 4. No.
So
Could we just use
1 and 4 left. Okay, so just one more question. The instructions say to take 1 pill every 12 hours. Is it okay if I just take 1 in the morning and 1 at night?
Yes. Done.
4.
Don't need to follow up. Don't need to try to explain it to them. They're just like, no, I don't want to open that up. I don't want to open that up.
It won't be 12 hours apart. Sometimes it might be 16, it might be 11, but
Get in
it's
your
fine.
system as best you can. That's what I say.
All right, you guys agree with 4?
I'm going to go 4. Yeah.
Okay, that just leaves 1.
All right, what's our worst?
Here we go. So just one more question. My toddler won't stop crying. Can I give him some of my sleeping pills so I can get a break?
Aren't you glad we saved that for number 1?
Yeah.
Aren't you glad?
CPS?
exactly
They
what
didn't
go
do it
down.
yet, but they're planning to.
Both
Are
the
you
child
calling them?
kids
Are you
were
calling
one
them
and
back
two.
over, or are you like just saying no? Nope, don't do that, and then
Call it back. Hey, don't we have a legal obligation to report that?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
well, they didn't do it yet, but
they were just asking. They were just asking.
Yeah.
Oh my
we are
gosh.
worried.
Yeah.
Man, we killed it.
All right, so you went one, giving sleeping pills to a toddler, allegedly, potentially. 2, son faking out sick, going to school, and will it actually get him sick? 3, taking shots of water instead of a large glass. 4, every 12 hours versus morning and night. And 5, old eardrops in the eye.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think we did pretty good.
I'm into it.
All right. Good work, gentlemen. Good work. All right, we got looks like one other segment here. Robbie's gonna get a little add-in, a little adverse reactions video to get a look at here.
Yes, thank you, Sam. So on this new segment, Adverse Reactions, I'm going to play a video. And you guys are going to react. Listeners, I picked a video where all you need is a sound. So please enjoy. I'm going to pull it up right now. Okay. And boys, please feel free to comment as we watch.
Is that the pharmacist?
That is the pharmacist. She's having a mental breakdown. She's closing the pharmacy with that long line of people waiting. Wow.
I'm going home.
So what do you guys think of that? What are your uncandid reactions to that video?
I feel bad for her. She couldn't handle it anymore. She said, I don't care if I get fired. I just can't be the punching bag anymore. Sounds like she just hit her limit and couldn't go anymore. And she did the right thing, I think, because it would be unsafe for her to continue if she's in that much distress. But yeah, it sucks that, she didn't have enough support or enough help, or just was stressed out that bad that she had to be in that situation.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Sam?
And we don't hear exactly what's going on, or what's caused that, or even if she was saying it, couldn't really understand what she was saying. But obviously, it was too much. Done with whatever that was, and done with that shift or that job, whatever's going on. So yeah, as you were saying, something super shitty, stressful that was going on. Probably not just that incident, but building up. Retail pharmacy, what we were just talking about as well. What that was. So obviously something that was super hard on them, and they were like, no, we're walking away. We're done with this. That was definitely probably something tough that she was dealing with.
Yeah, that's not a decision you make make easily. She opted to obviously take care of her sanity and mental health there, rightfully so, because performing when your head's not in the right spaces can lead to potentially a bigger problem. She could cause patient harm. So definitely with her on making that call. And honestly, I just feel really bad for her that she felt like she had to do this for her own safety and close the pharmacy. No one wants to be in a situation where they don't have the support or tools they need. It's like, you want me to row this boat? Okay, then, give me some paddles. She's basically being asked to, go with her hands. And that's an impossible task. It really is. So if you guys were in her situation, how would you have handled the large workload? Would you have found yourself closing the pharmacy, or would you have tried something differently?
Everyone's stress levels are different. Ideally, me personally, I would have tried my best to kind of like just prioritize the important things and then just kind of let everything else get behind. And then I probably, unfortunately, would have stayed late to catch myself up to get back to, a nice spot, even though I shouldn't be having to do that. But then after that, I would, talk to my manager and charge like, hey, like, this is the worst night ever. I can't do that again. We got to change some things. Like today was just too much. And I think that's how I would have tried to handle the workload. Just basically prioritize the important things and then let everything else kind of fall behind and then, you know, do what I can to catch up after hours.
Have you ever experienced a situation like that where you had a large workload?
Yeah, a couple times when I first started at my job. I don't know the system as well, or I didn't know how to do some of the things, right? So it just took me longer to complete a lot of things. So in those instances, I just end up staying late. But luckily for my job, if it was hectic enough and you can prove that you were doing a high number of tasks at a certain time, they will give you overtime for it. But yeah, definitely when I first started my job, I would probably stay 30 minutes late each day until I got better, faster. Because I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. And then, if things were crazy, yeah, I just wanted to just follow up and double check, cover cross my T's and dot my I's before I left. Um, so yeah, I don't think I have anything that bad as to where, I was ready to quit. I mean, to leave. Yeah, to quit. Um, but yeah, I mean, you gotta do your best. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah. Sounds like you guys are at least better staffed than she was. That's good
Yes.
that you don't find yourself in that situation.
Yes, we
Uh,
are.
and how about you, Sam? How would you have handled that large workload that she was experiencing?
I mean, I guess initially we don't necessarily know if that's what was really triggering that workload versus, her being treated a certain way by either staff or management or patients, what was really triggering. But we can assume probably something had to do with the workload and being behind and stressed from that on what she was doing. I would say similar to Xavier, just trying to remove or cut things off or responsibilities. It's like, okay, we're going to drop returning calls. We're going to drop responding to this or that or answering voicemails, whatever it may be, is you can start kind of like removing what you're doing to try to get by on what it is when you're super far behind. And it happens to us anyway, in general, of just especially this holiday weekend, and like we're behind a whole bunch of scripts in, like we've got a pile of scripts that we still got to call. Like you're still just trying to move through it, not trying to do too much, but still keep everything moving and going. But obviously, a breaking point that she had. What have I experienced that? No, something like that. I'm sure there's something out there that would cause me to have a reaction like that or that level. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely once you're treated bad enough for long enough, things happen, and clearly she reached that point.
I watched this video and I don't know how I would honestly handle dealing with something like that because there was at least 6, 7 customers waiting in line, her by herself. I imagine there's a busy phone ringing. I imagine the e-scripts are piling up, the faxes are piling up, and all these things sort of weigh on your head and make you feel anxious and kind of can potentially have a big panic attack like that. Um, how I would address it, yeah, I would drop off things. I would try to just deal with the person directly in front of me, one person at a time, and I'd make them wait right there as I worked on their prescription, and the next person make them wait right there. So I'm at least getting one person done at a time. I would just completely nix all vaccines. There's no way I'd be doing vaccines
No,
in the
yeah.
midst of all that.
None at all.
Yeah. Um, has something like that ever happened to me? I mean, definitely a lot when I worked community, but more recently, this past Wednesday, so
Oh, wow.
yesterday, yesterday,
Yesterday.
I had a very, very busy work day where I didn't have any technician help for transitions of care. I had 9 discharges I
Oh,
had to
wow.
do, and it gets kinda backed up with discharges because I have to wait for the outpatient pharmacy to fill it so I could go do the discharge counseling, and so I spend my mornings doing, admit medrecs. So I did like 3 in the morning while I'm waiting for these home med reviews to come in, my medications to come, and I'm also coordinating, like, medications that have to return to the patient they came with or have to destroy them, reaching out to doctors, trying to make sure that the discharge summary is correct. And then while I'm doing all this, the outpatient is backed up. Then all of a sudden, they bring it all at once, and I have 5 different discharge patients. And I'm just like, why did you wait to give me this? So now I'm running around scrambling, running like this side of the hospital, that side of the hospital. And then, I get 3 of them done. I get back to my desk. I see 4 more discharges pile up and 2 more admit home med recs. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what the hell's going on? On the one day I don't have technician help, like, it's never this busy, And so even during rounds, they said they had one anticipated discharge. Where did all this come from? So I just was just like, you know what? So Wednesdays we also do med education. And I was like, telling my boss, I'm like, dude, we're not doing this today. I'm sorry, we can't do med ed today. We're short staffed. I'm backed up here. So he was very gracious. Let me cancel it. And what I did was I made sure I got all the counseling done because I think it's CMS. It is actually a metric where they want to have so many patients counseled upon discharge. And right now we're at about 92%. But we want to get to 95%. And my boss is like, come on, help me get to 95. So I had that in my back of my mind. I'm like, I have to make sure I at least counsel these patients. And I did. And then I got back
Nice.
to my desk and I was like, no, after all that's done, finally did all my home med reviews, finished everything. But in that situation, I was able to do it because I prioritized the discharging the patients because, that home med review could wait. Like, it'll be there waiting for me when I'm done. But
Yes.
me delaying a discharge, that's a big deal. So it was a lot, but made it through, left home with my sanity, got home and just vegged and watched TV. I didn't even study Japanese. I was like, not today. I'm burnt out. Yeah. So on that line of over like having big workloads and being burnt out, um, how would you help a friend or colleague that you saw experiencing burnout from the lack of support at work?
Generally, you just want to try to be there for them. Be there to let them vent to you. If you care about them, maybe you get them like a wellness thing, like they're one of your close friends. Like, oh, I saw you were stressed out at work, and you're my closest friend. I got you a spa day. Let's go do the spa together. We both need to relax a little bit. So just try to do something small for them if you can. Um, just basically do things to kind of keep them mentally there, right? Mentally feeling better, and just support them. Just be a good friend. Like I said, the easiest thing is probably just be there to let them vent, and that helps out a lot as well. So
I would say in that moment, what comes to mind is probably what they're going through, decision fatigue. And so,
Mhm.
you can one be able to recognize it, and in that case, you should be able to recognize it from that clip. But obviously, it doesn't always present like that on someone burning out or just being done or getting something said to them or treated the wrong way, where um, they're done essentially for the day or the week or maybe for their job and ready to walk out. And I don't care if you fire me on this, but the, I guess, concept of wanting to help and not being a burden with your help. I mean, like, what can I do? What can I do? And start just, your head's in the right spot, but probably once they're at that point, even asking them questions is too
too
much.
much. Yeah.
So being able to recognize it and just being like, okay, I'm going to take this. You see them starting to lower the door, close the thing, help them lower that, or pull things out of the way. Just understand that they just need support and help, and not you fighting them or questioning them. Being able to take those decisions out of their hand, knowing that they're gonna want to water, or they're gonna need to sit down, or close other things down, or saying I'm gonna shut the phones off, or I'm gonna switch to this. You're removing those decisions. You're letting them have their space. Ideally, you can help in other ways, or if they ask for it, you're there. But I think probably the worst, maybe not worst, thing that can happen is you wanting to help and then just start, tell me what to do, tell me this, like I can help you with this, or
Mhm.
versus just trying to do it. Maybe you're not quite doing it quite right, but just trying to remove as many of those things and let them do their thing, and yeah, let them help them vent if that's what they're doing. I think at that point she's probably not trying to vent. She's done talking, she's done everything. I'm not, I don't want someone to talk to and vent about what just happened. Talking's not happening at that point.
Yeah. I think
That's
all you
great.
can really do at that point is just listen and let them vent. Oftentimes, people don't really want you to solve their problem. They just sort of want to complain about it and be heard, have that connection. But realistically, all you can really do to help someone is tell them, go talk to your union. Go find out your labor laws that are there to
What
protect
union?
you. Yeah. Oh, you don't have a union? No, dang, that sucks. Well, go find out your labor laws. Things like that. Go to the press. Make a big deal about it. But it's really hard to weigh in, especially like me. Like if I were to help that person, there's really not a whole lot I could do other than like listen, be compassionate and understanding. But let's hope
Man.
none of us get to that point. But so, guys, if you guys ever need a vent, I'm here for you.
Hey, Catherine will be proud of you guys. Both of your guys' answer choices were like spot on, or like being empathetic, and some things that a psychologist would say to you. Just because I heard some things that she say to people, or things that she pointed out to me, that's more empathetic, or just like better for the emotions. And she would be proud of you guys. Both of your answers were like spot on.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
Tell her thank
Thanks,
you.
Catherine. Thanks, Catherine. I know you're listening. Well, guys, that is it for our show. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, guys, make sure you're liking our podcasts, you're subscribing to all the stuffs. We got TikToks, Instagrams, Facebooks, Threads. What the hell else we got? I think we're on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it. YouTube. We're on all the tubes. Woo! So make sure you like, subscribe, send us your questions, send us your stories. Hey, we want to hear from you. If you want us to read a fan letter, we'd love to as well. So tune in to us. Guys, until next time, we'll catch you. Bye.
Peace out.
Peace.